Good Monday afternoon. Thank you for tuning in to 12 News at Noon. I'm Nick Canizales. Well, the Texas primaries are almost here. Tomorrow will be your last chance to vote as the polls will close at 7 o'clock. Let's go to Maria Aguilera for some of the major talking points for this election and why this race means so much.
In the race for governor, Republican Governor Greg Abbott is seeking a third term, and some of the issues shaping the primary election are immigration and the border.
We want to let everybody in Texas know about the reality of the dangers of open border policies.
7 other Republicans are challenging him, including former GOP Chairman Allen West. He's also focusing on issues like border security and energy independence, according to his campaign website. Meanwhile, on the Democratic ticket, former El Paso Congressman, U.S. Senate nominee, and presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke has a highest name recognition. O'Rourke says he will work with Texans regardless of party to develop immigration and border security reforms. That's according to his campaign website. Another one of his focuses in his campaign is a Texas power grid.
I want to make sure we're interconnected to the national grid so that when we have an emergency or an extreme weather event, we can draw down power from other parts of the country.
Governor Abbott recently stated the state's power grid is more reliable and more resilient than it's ever been.
There have been a lot of very impactful events in the last couple of years in Texas.
Valerie DeBille with the nonpartisan group Women League of Voters says this is an important race for Texans.
With the power issues and the border wall and COVID, a lot of this stuff has been the governor sort of acting alone rather than going through the legislature and passing actual laws.
The bill says it's up to Texans to decide who they want to make decisions for the state.
One of the most hotly contested races is the battle for the Republican nomination for Attorney General. Now, controversial incumbent Ken Paxton leads the polls, but he's facing a serious challenge from Land Commissioner George P. Bush, Congressman Louis Gohmert, and former state Supreme Court Justice Eva Guzman. Now, if a recent UT poll holds true, this race could wind up in a runoff. Now, for those who haven't cast their ballots yet, there are things to remember before heading out to the polls. Now, a common question for voters is what forms of identification can you bring? Well, you have 7 different options. So you can bring one of the following right there on your TV screen: a state driver's license, a Texas election identification certificate, a Texas personal identification card, a Texas license to carry a handgun, a U.S. military ID card, a U.S. citizenship certificate with a personal photo. Now, if you don't have any of these forms of ID, you can still vote as long as you sign a form swearing that you have a reasonable impediment preventing you from obtaining a regular ID. Now, alternative forms of ID are on your screen includes a U.S. passport, a valid voter registration certificate, and other options.